everyone. Randy Lilson, Chief Marketing Officer at Conga, and today I am pleased to be joined by Francis Ruffy. Francis is a principal at PwC, and we are going to be talking about revenue optimization. So, Francis, first question. A lot of clients you talk to today, I'm sure, are dealing with rising inflation. What are they doing in terms of maximizing revenue in that climate?
Yeah, Randy, 9.1% year over year. Inflation is heating up, not cooling down, and it seems to be more broad-based and widespread than narrow. So a lot of the companies that I work with are taking different tactics and pulling different levers to outperform the market. One tactic is just price increases. A lot of companies in the past 2 years have taken some price actions. Now I'm seeing more frequency in price increases. Instead of annual price increases, we're seeing more quarterly and monthly price increases, in addition to just setting up the processes and the systems to go after price. And even now, if the economy softens up, our customers are thinking about how do they actually hold on to prices if the economy softens. Another area in terms of addressing inflation is around cost takeout programs, right? Just finding efficiencies both in the front office and back office around their processes and systems. And then last is around just applying automation technologies such as RPA, robotic process automation, workflow, intelligent document processing. Like these are all tactics that our customers are taking to improve efficiency and essentially be more effective at creating value.
So you talked about margin improvement and cutting costs. Who would benefit from focusing on margin improvement, and what are some of the tactics you see as being most effective in doing so?
Frankly, every company would benefit from focusing on margin improvement, and different stakeholders from finance to accounting to sales all have an eye towards focusing on margin improvement. When I think about gross to net and all the deductions that go into your gross sales to net sales, from administration fees, rebates, royalty payments, chargebacks, billbacks, distributor fees, like the list goes on, it represents a major part of the value chain and typically lies between 15% and 20% of your gross sales. So companies that are being proactive at better leveraging data for margin improvements get a lot of good insights, such as being able to answer questions such as, how are my rebates performing as forecasted? To, am I getting the ROI I expect from paying these rebates? To, are my customers hitting their volume-based tiers on the contracts related to rebates that we had signed up for? So I think the takeaway is being proactive in monitoring these gross to net deductions is a sure way to improve your company's margin and your company's gross to net.
So nobody likes revenue leakage. It's sort of a hot button right now. What are some of the approaches companies can take, especially in the short term, to address revenue leakage?
Yeah, I would agree, Randy. In fact, this is a phrase that I hear often, and I think it's because it resonates with companies. Because when you hear revenue leakage, there are aspects that they know are in their control and they can address and they can manage, and it's not an insignificant amount either. So when I think about rebates, I think the latest stat that I saw is there's potentially 1 to 3% in revenue leakage on rebates alone. So if I'm paying monthly and quarterly and annual rebates and associated fees, that could easily add up to millions of dollars annually. And so if I'm overpaying rebates, that not only has an impact on the rebate payments, but on downstream incentives as well, such as sales incentive comps that are based off of net sales, or admin fees that are based off of net sales. And then your accruals and forecasting on rebates, the accuracy gets impacted. So I think in terms of the short term, just getting the foundation right, focusing on things such as data governance, data quality, communication, process harmonization across all these different stakeholder groups, is a short-term way for companies to improve accuracy and plug their potential revenue leakage.
So let's wrap with this. What are some of the considerations companies should think about in terms of contracting strategies throughout the revenue lifecycle?
I would just say keep it simple and just stick with the basics. Focus on the capabilities that allow you to track contracts that are up for renewal, get alerted when contracts are up for renewal within 30, 60, 90 days. That allows you to apply the appropriate contracting strategy. So if I have a contract that's up for renewal that the customer might be on the fence with, I might contact them a lot earlier than the 30-day notification that I typically might have. Or if there's a customer contract that's up for renewal that is a high likelihood to renew, maybe I should do a little bit more strategy to find opportunities to upsell or cross-sell additional services or products in my portfolio. That's on the renewal side. For those where you do have active contracts, there's probably terms that you could look and leverage for optimizing your revenue. So maybe there are pricing terms that allow you to take price increases that are tied into some consumer price index or producer price index or a reference price. On the flip side, maybe there's a clause around most favored nation where maybe you're not actively tracking it and monitoring it. So similar sized customers might be able to get a lower price than anticipated. So I think the takeaway is really just continuous, consistent, contract reviews will help you manage and maximize your revenue.
Francis, thank you for the insights. We thank you for joining us. We invite you to learn more at conga.com.